Well, this here is a 1951, 2, 3-ish Chevrolet Bel Air. Or Deluxe. We'll figure it out, not really sure. See, this is the first time I'm seeing this rig. I actually traded my buddy Brian from Oklahoma for this car. Pretty much junk for junk. Never laid my mitts on it until today. Yeah, it's surf green, looks like. It's pretty good. I don't really have a plan other than it sure would be nice to get home tonight. So we'll walk around, drink it up, see what the rig needs, try to get this thing fired up, running, driving, stopping, shifting, and then travel about, I think it's about 200 miles, something like that. Back roads from here, back to the shop, and then we're gonna build this thing. Let's just finish it up right away so we can tootle this rig around. It's gonna be a lot of fun, a lot of work, some road tripping, some wrenching. Let's dig in. Man, this thing's got a really good patina. The next Vice Grip Garage giveaway is here. It's a really short one, so don't miss out, but it's our biggest one yet. How about some modern muscle for a change? This ZL1 Chevrolet Camaro, 650 horsepower coming out of that supercharged 6.2 liter, backed by a 6-speed transmission. This particular one is in absolute pristine showroom condition with only 7,000 miles on the odometer. Of course, it has the track package stuff. Comes out of the box with Brembo brakes and Recaro seats and all of the stuff, all of the options. This car is an absolute rocket and a ton of fun to drive. Now, if you don't like Camaros or modern muscle, or you're just not in a position in your life where this makes sense, I get it. And that's why this time I'm including an option where if you don't want the car, how about $80,000 in cash? And you could do whatever you want to do with that. For an opportunity, a chance to win either one, go to vicegripgarage.com. Every $5 you spend gets you one entry for a chance to win, whichever one you choose. And there's a little bit of something for everyone over there. Good luck to you guys. Again, this is really short. Don't procrastinate. And as always, no purchase necessary, and all the rules and everything are over there at vicegripgarage.com as well. Well, if you're familiar with the show, you know the deal. If you're new, welcome. One of the first things the guy likes to do is share the history on the rig, because in my personal opinion, it's one of the most important, if not the most important part of saving these rigs, is sharing the history and making sure we pass that on with the vehicle itself. And oftentimes for myself, it motivates me more than the make, model, year, the coolness factor. Now, my buddy Brian bought it for the patina on this car, which quite honestly is very juicy. I'm talking like big league ground ball grape juicy, maybe slamming strawberry. It's very good. But I think he got it. There was an interior fire. The thing was gutted out inside and he had to do some floor patches and interior, but it did run and drive at that point. But should call him. I don't know when that was. And then it was towed up here and it's been sitting here for, along with these others, I really couldn't tell you, long time. But it shouldn't be too terribly bad chassis wise, hopefully. I think brakes and clutch are gonna be our two biggest things. I know it's from Oklahoma and it's fairly straight. I mean, the outside is pretty rust free. Someone forgot their door key, I can already tell that. Got some BB gun practice, target shooting going on here on the front windshield. Some of the stuff's been robbed off of it. Probably one of those cars that sat in a tree row or back 40 for a while, and people kind of picked at it. But I hope to get this thing to be a solid cruiser. I mean, jump in, hit the key, fires, looks sharp, does everything, reliable. That's kind of our goal. But let's just start by walking around the thing. Let's open the trunk, dig through there, dig through the interior, pop the power barn, take a gander in that, make a list of what we need, what we don't need, just the basics to get us home. And then we get to home base, we can really dig into it if need. Example, if the clutch is slipping or something, can we nurse it? And then when we get to a facility, you know, yank the junk out or whatever we got to do. So let's go in the back, dig in. Look at that. All sorts of stuff's been robbed off this. Mirrors, antenna, hood emblem. I don't think it's a Bel Air. It doesn't have the trim. So this is positively surf green. And that's a Ditzler color, more commonly known today as a PPG format. But very popular color back then. And that's not quite. Oh, here we go. So it's had one repaint. That's more of the original surf green. And then we have another surf green repaint. And now, fun fact, you'll notice the front clip has a black primer. But the body, doors and back, has a brown primer. Well, this is a body by Fisher. So they would essentially ship the body to GM. GM would do the chassis, you know, brake, suspension, engine, transmission, and front clip. So they had different primering processes. And that's why a lot of these older cars, you'll see a black front and a brown body. So this is either Fox Tina'd very well or quite possibly the original front clip. We're gonna have to dig into that. The grill is suspect. Either the grill is suspect or the VIN number and the title. We'll try to figure that out once we pop the hood and get to the cow tag. But we see the wind caught the door. Shoot darn dang. Oofta. And that flanged open, snagged that. Original stainless, you can tell how it's dented. Someone forgot the door key at the dance. Probably went to get a soda pop or something, got excited. And they pried this door open. Which still does operate-ish. Oh, wow. We got some good stuff to come back to there. But look at this. Little bit of rust, but it's not bad. Oh, is that spray foam? Please tell me that's spray. That is spray foam. Okay. I owned this car. I'm just trying to figure out when that was. But anyway, it's got really pretty decent stainless. This isn't rotted out. Normally this gets full of mud and rocks, especially back here in this. It's really hard to see, but there's a panel that comes in here and stuff gets packed. And this just gets completely, it's got a little bit, but normally this is just completely gone. It's got a fuel filler neck, no guarantee on the tank. So that's pretty neat. Deck lid looks pretty decent. This is also very common. Needles, leaves, stuff like that get down in there. Oh, looks like we're gonna need a standard screwdriver key to get in the back. Price Motor Co. Bleep bloop it down in the comments if you know where that's from. I'm hoping that's from Oklahoma. That would be really cool if this was an Oklahoma born and raised car. Pretty much all of its life till recently, in the last couple of years. Just a smidge of rust over here. I don't know if the skirts are in the trunk or in the car. I have no idea. Oh, hey, here we go. It is a Deluxe. I don't think that other fender has these provisions. Oh, it does. I just missed it. So it is a 51, 52 Chevrolet Deluxe. This was the car back in the day. If you were a successful salesman, you're peddling vacuums, you're doing good, this is your ride. right here. Same story on the rust, a little bit worse for wear behind the door. Rocker panel has equal amounts of spray foam. What is going on with the tires? They're weather checked, but they have nubs. Oh, it's paint. These are painted. This is factory. A lot of people don't know this. RPO code 46 broke. You know, just like the car washes today where you roll out and they smear the tire shine on right when you leave. They had that in Detroit, but it was for white walls here. And this is one of the very rare models where they smeared on the white wall. They do got gobs of tread though. Freshly rebuilt. 2 good lug nuts. So that's pretty good. I didn't even look at the other lugs. It's pretty low. I don't think my belly's gonna get under it to see the tank situation or if we even have a drive shaft or anything else. Why it's too bad about this, because otherwise it's a really straight car. So this here, let me take a seat on this thing. Questionable at best. This is a 51 front end, but the title I have, I think says 52 or 53, I can't remember. So unless the front end was wiped out and replaced, or the tag's been replaced, something goofy's going on here. So let's get in the trunk, see if we can find some more parts, some more things, and then we'll kind of work our way forward. That's from the inside. Unless the wing window was out. But that was shot from the inside out. Darn kids and the BB guns. You know, I never shot glass out of cars when I was a kid. Well, I let a guy get his Buick Oldsmobile Pontiac Cadillac GM key out. Here it is. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh. Oh, we got skirtage. Oh, caps. Man, this is chock full. There's the badge. Deluxe. Oh, the tabs are broke off. Oh man, we got a mirror. I got a mixing cup. There's the hood emblem. Man, this is great. What a gold mine. The skirts are in really good shape. Trim ring. Spare with air. Brand new car. What kind of mortgage this got? Yeah. Still just me. Well, anyway, you can get in here and take a gander. Wow, look at the back of the seat on the outside. That's brand and new. I hope I didn't rip my friend off. I feel like I got the better end of the deal. Well, I've waited now. We don't know that this runs. Mine ran great. Let's whoa her up. Let's whoa it up a little bit. I'm kind of overwhelmed because I normally don't get a trunk full of goodness. It's usually like a head gasket and a water pump or ignition system or 9 generators. But in this case, we got an original spare wheel. Of course, not the tire because it's not by supply. But we've got a trim ring, a center cap, both skirts, which I think the lever's intact, tabs are intact. We got the hood emblems, which are, well, very patinaed, we'll say, but they're there, and they've already been remachined with Thailand hardware. At least that one will work. We don't know that that one will. Oh, we got more rings. 1, 2, 3. We got 3 of them. That's better math. That's an empty box. So we got 3 wheels, 2 skirts, a badge. I'm not sure what that is. We'll have to investigate what that is. Oh, that might be a grill bar from the correct grill. But no engine stuff in here, which is fantastic. So we're just gonna forget about this for now. Even locks. Oh no, where'd my key go? There it is. All right, now that we're done in the trunk, let's work our way to the people carrier. This is gonna be good. I saw more flake than an 80s bass boat in there. And I know that it's been burned down before. So what's in it? Oh, let's find out. Oh, wow. Yes. Yep. Oh, I'm getting woozy. I'm getting woozy. There's ants in here everywhere. Why is there so many ants? Eviction notice, but it's still really good. Why is the floor on the ceiling? I like it. I like it a lot. Well, I've never seen green alligator skin before, but now we've got it on door panels, armrests, and the floor mats matching. I don't know that I've seen this incredible of an interior ever. Okay, I'm not sure what these seats are, these buckets. They're GM. It's on the tip of my tongue. I just can't figure it out yet, but these have been reupholstered. Back seat matches. Look at the headliner. That is the thickest shag carpet. Oh wow, it's really plush. It's plush, but don't touch it. There's everything in that. It looks fantastic. Just hands off, okay? You've got the alligator skin floor mats, new carpet, because again, this was lit on fire is what I was told. Oh wow. Steering is really tight. It's got that 50s car steering. Mileage is blank, so that's pretty good. This has been out in the sun so long it's just melted off. Was an AM radio at some point. I think this is the old starter. Shiny paint causes stress. Sure does. Man, I can't get over this. It just feels so, like, cozy in here. Oh, look at the visor. Oh my goodness, how did I miss this? This is, it's stuck in here. I don't want to rip the alligator skin. This is an old school visor. This is worth the whole trade. Honestly, in itself, these are big bucks. In good condition. Look at all the car shows this has been to. I think that's what that is. Yeah. Car show. Car show stuff. Window crank. They even did the back armrests. This is really cool. Man, it feels like you just are teleported back in time. Kick panels are even done. Got a clutch, spring anyway. Throttle does, I don't know if let's wait. Let's wait on that one. Because you know the deal. It's got retrofit lights. I don't know anything. There might be a kill switch. I don't know nothing about this car. VIN number. I don't know how to decode 50 50s cars very good. 50K, 5K. I'm not really sure on that. That looks completely original though, which makes me feel more gooder. Glass from the inside doesn't look that bad, but this BB gun shot for sure came from the inside, which means this wing window was stuck out forever. Oh, Central glass from Thailand. It's got a new side glass. Oh, this side does too. So we got two new side glasses. Those were probably shot out, or maybe they were lost in the interior fire. Not really sure. See? 52, but I know that's a 51 grill. I don't understand what's going on here. So this here is paperwork saying it was bought for 300 bucks and there was $110 in taxes paid years back. That's great. Okay. 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 Let me out! Let's get under the power barn. Now that we know we have the best interior ever made. This is seam already. I'm not sure if this is factory. If that's a Deluxe A or not. And I think I figured out... Oh, those aren't bolted in. These look like C10 buckets. Don't they? Look. Like Suburban, panel truck, buckets. Because this would have had a bench. But anyway, none of that matters because we have a visor and alligator skin. But let's get under the hood, make sure we have a heartbeat. Well, this should have a 90 horsepower, 216 straight six. Well, it's a 3-speed manual, unless it's been monkeyed with. It's already semi-popped, which probably means parts have been robbed off of it. What's this Bluetooth? For Pete's sake. I gotta download an app. Where's the thing? Should be right here. I can't believe this now. Never seen such a Mickey Mouse. Oh, yep. There, oh wow. We got a ching bang with a yin yang and fully rebuilt. We're not making it. Maybe this will run. Tail lights out. Well, I walked it off for a minute. I realized I've done far greater with much worse. This looks really complete. Quite honestly, it looks like a runner. It's just like the Ford Blue rebuild and the teppanyaki radiator. I don't know. It's probably a decent in-town cruiser, but we gotta put some serious miles down. So I'm not really sure. We got a clear filter, heater core bypass, original fuel pump, original ignition system. I can't tell if the starter has been replaced or rebuilt the same as the manifolds and half of the block. We got a battery that's 3 years old and doesn't have a brand. It's really good, actually. Hood springs are decent. Let's take a look at the tag and then we'll dig into this stuff, see what happens. Well, sure as poly grip on a hot summer night. It is a 52. So I think the front end was taken off at church one Sunday and someone has reaffixed a front end on here, which, you know, the 52, 53, which is kind of the end of the era, had the shark teeth in it. This was a straight bar, which I think looks the cleanest. It's kind of the Hudson look, you know what I mean? But look at this, we got a no name brand refurb battery from 22, which I think is how long it's pretty much been sitting, but it's disconnected, which means it's dead. We got a brand new coil from 1997 back there hanging in. Some high performance lightning hoses, stock fuel pump, heater bypass that's kinked off so it overheats. The Ford blue means it's high performance, essentially, but they only rebuilt the top half. They didn't put main bearings in. See where it's black from here down? So I think it's cam bearings, 5-angle valve job, camshaft, rocker arm, pretty much. That's going to be a Rochester 1 jet. You can tell by how it looks. Basically, got the oil bath breather in there still, old school oil fill tray. You can tell that the shifter is completely wallered out. The bushing is shot. So you got a fish for gears, which is kind of a 50s experience, very normal. Someone took some time and put some wire looming and stuff in here though, that's pretty good. Got a really sweet rad overflow right into a jug. I mean, I really did work on this. This is fully approved, everything here. Motor mounts look good. See that starter? I don't know if that was spray bombed or actually refurbed. Wait a minute. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Is this a 12 volt? Oh, look at that. I missed that. This has got a 12 volt conversion on it, albeit that's the wrong pulley for the belt. I don't know how that's even staying on. The belt's going to be riding. Oh yeah, look at that. The belt is riding on the outside of the pulley, but nonetheless, we have a 12 volt conversion on this. So a 12 volt battery, ignition coil, points. I don't know if the headlights and everything have been done. None of the wiring's been converted. Okay, that just broke. Sorry about that. Safe to say we probably don't have headlights. That also means none of the gauges will work, which is great, but it's going to charge, which is really what we need. Spark, fuel, compression, and also it's nice to have some valve timing up in here as well. So it could likely run. No filter between the pump and the tank, which is fine. There must be a tank in here. I can't get underneath this thing. We're just gonna assume. I can see exhaust running down there, transmission's in it. I mean, that's the extent of what I know. AC's off right now. We lube that up, we might get it to open. We'll have fresh air AC right into the cabin. But she's been bone dry for a long, long time. So let's go through the vittles, the fluids, start going through the basics. I want to get this fired off with as minimum amount of money as humanly possible, just so we can get her back to the shop. And then, you know, we'll work on it from there. And I want to go through this bumper to bumper, make sure it's reliable, change the look a little bit, fix it up, doll it up, so we have a cruiser. But the most important rule is it's got to be able to run, drive, stop. So let's start there. Well, let's work through some basics here. We'll start with the ice cube boiler. It's got some sort of rust colored thing in there, and the cap says Nia should be a hemi mildew often. Okay. Earl. It's about 1.5 quarts over full, which is perfect. Basically means I changed it. I'm not even sure we have to change that now. Well, let me feel this. Yeah, 1030 conventional. It's got about 2,800 miles on it. Should be fine. At least cranking over. Okay. This battery I know is going to be dead, so we don't got to try that. We know it's out of fuel. It's going to have to be primed. We probably should just make sure that it rotates. I don't think that's going to be an issue, but it's always a great idea when you buy an old rig, rather than just jamming on the starter and hoping. Turn the thing over by hand. Just make sure that it's rotating. There's no binding or conflicts or anything like that, or any sort of negotiations happening between the valves and the pistons. We'll do that quick, and then we're running out of daylight. We got to get this thing fired up and just hit the road. Hopefully that's the case. See what happens. I've had this truck back here, Acorns, since 2008, something like that. Drug it home from Colorado, but can't figure out a title yet. We'll get to that eventually. Okay, Ford Blue engine, belt spinning. Oh, it just rocked. Let me put it in neutral. That's a good sign, actually. If it's rocking, the engine's rotating, but it's connected to the transmission via the clutch. Oh yeah. Got that 8 compression. Slanging. This 216 doesn't have a lot of compression. I'll tell you that. Yeah, that feels real. There's a little slop in it. You can't hear that, but it's like a tick, 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 tick. That's bottom end slop. Rocking it back and forth. We got the 15A 1055 belt on here, most likely. It's a green stripe Gates belt. That feels pretty good. So we got oil, it rotates, it's got coolant. We don't have fuel yet. Let me see if I can find something to prime this. Otherwise, we're gonna have to put a jump box on this thing and just crank the bejeebas out of it, because that's gonna have to pull from the tank, wet its whistle, and then fill the carb. This thing's been sitting for quite a while. Okay, guys, got a beignet and Chingley jump back here. Let's see. This is always a negative one. This is the happy one. You know, as the kids say, I don't know if we got enough aura. All right, good. I don't think we have enough voltage to make this happen. We're gonna try. Clicked. I got one. Oh wow, I got 1 bar. That's not a good sign. But we'll give her a rip anyway. We toss her around by hand. It should spin. I think we're, oh, wow, it's clicking a lot. I don't know what that means. Click, click. Click, click. We're gonna have to crank the bejesus out of this to get fuel back in her. I don't have any like true fuel or anything. I have my suitcase and a little toolbox. So we're bare minimum, trying to do what we can. Let's see what this does. All right. Oh, that is the window. It's not the... All right, this is the window. The door handle is off. Key on. I think neutral. cranking? No. Dead. All right, let me check that blue teeth, a jumper thing. I'm sure it's got some sort of weird setting. Okay, on again. How about now? Junk. Weird. If you just had a charger or a jump pack that was just on all the time, wow, wouldn't that be great? Oh wait, they do exist. Huh. Garbage. Probably the last thing I do in life is some sort of warm butterscotch pudding parade. Like a cook-off. Hear me out, like meringue, something really classy. Also, how can we not have a jump pack that jumps? I mean, look at the technology today. How is that not happening? Well, guys, really surprised. Battery shot. We need a jump or some sort of voltage. So I'm gonna yank this junk out, go get a $20 cord from this thing, buy the cheapest battery I can find from O'Reilly, come back, throw it in. It sounded like the startup was engaging and the ignition switch is working, which is kind of what we're doing, is making sure the switch works, the starter works, engine rotates, and now we can work on the rest. So far, all of that sounds pretty healthy. We just need some voltages, SSS. Surprisingly, the auction battery from 22, made from some guy in his basement, doesn't work. Weird. Back in a jiff. Well, this is a battery from 3 years ago from Independent Chevelle. Yeah, that ought to work. Oh, there's stuff leaking out of it, so that's how I know it's hot. Okay. Wow, it's loose. That goes to the water pump. We got 2 extra wires. One's going to can't see. One's going to the charging whirler. The worst thing you can do is pound on a battery post. It's bad for them. Okay. Why do I smell oil so bad? It's kind of like a inboard, outboard boat smell. Not really sure. Let's try it now. Let's crank it up. Junk. All right. Neutralis. Crank. There we go. That's more gooder. Pump. Keep pumping. No oil pressure yet. Oh wow, still no oil pressure. Any fuel? Can't see. Yep, we got a little bit of fuel. I hear air. There we go. Yes! Oh yeah. Sewing machine. Oil pressure is slowly building. What a sweetheart. Oh, the speedometer needle is snapped off. Darn it. Okay. Got a mess. Oh yeah. It's running on 5. Come on. Come on. Come on, fire up. It's running on 5 cylinders. Oh yeah, you can feel it, you can hear it. Darn it. But it runs. Well, we're gonna start playing here. Number 1. Ouch. Definitely firing. I can feel that one. That's firing. Ouch. Yep, that's strong. That's firing. What I'm doing right now is going down the row, pulling the sparkulators to try to figure out which cylinder is the weakest. Oh, I found it. That was easy. I could hear it was running on 5 and I could feel it was running on 5. Just trying to figure out why. I'll show you right now. So I was going through here pulling one at a time. And then look at this. Boom. Fixed. Runs like a sewing machine. Look at that. Wow. There we go. That's great. I haven't touched nothing. Didn't have to clean the points. We didn't pull the plugs. Nice little engine. Well, let's just jump in. Get it over with. Do we have a clutch? We got a spring. Uh-oh. Shifter is not engaging. There we go, that's first. There. Might have been locked up. I was playing with it earlier, showing the slot. Yes! There we go. Should be first. Oh yeah. Reverse. First. Brake pedal. Man, what a sweetheart. Let's see if we got headlights. Tail lights are more important. We got 2 tail lights. We don't have a license plate or a license plate light, but oh, we got headlights. Man, we might road trip this tonight. How am I gonna move this other stuff? Help me! Is anybody here? Are you open? Why am I always alone? It doesn't say it's charging, it says it's draining. Still says it's draining. The D and the C. I don't know what to do here. I don't have tools. I got a Leatherman. At least it's painted Ford blue, so we know it's reliable. Status of the union. We've got a 50s-ish Chevrolet. It's running back here, ticking away like a sewing machine. It sounds like a flag's being made. You know, just a lot of freedom. But anyway, I don't know what to do here. The brake kind of worked. It was very squishy, but I didn't glide into that, what is that moss thing? Park Avenue? Not really sure why I have that, but. And then that Ford, that's not mine, but we might have to move that. And then I got my rollback in the way. I got like an hour of work just to get stuff out of the way to get this out of here because, of course, everything's unplanned. I think I'm gonna let this just idle because we wanna make sure the thermostat opens, it stays cool. It's got a bing bang ching yao teppanyaki radiator. It looks like the fuel filter's staying full, which is great, so the pump's working. I have no idea how much fuel is in it. All the needles are broken. Nothing works in the dash because it's a 12 volt converted over on a 6 volt. And all of that is basically junk, but the interior is incredible, so it makes up for it. I think what we might try to do, because we got 2 candles hanging out the front, is try to get this stuff fired up. There's a Jeep, a Nissan, a Dodge Ram, a Ford F-150, a 64 Impala, a Corvair, 80s Ram truck, 40-something Ford, and a Park Avenue I gotta move. And if we could do that, we'll get out of here tonight. Otherwise, we're stuck till tomorrow. I think we're just going to leave it the way it is. It's running. We'll just figure it out when we get back, hopefully. I don't know. Just play it by ear. That's the way it goes. I really don't want to touch a customer's car. This is in for a wiring harness, but this is my Ram truck. Y'all haven't seen this thing. I just really haven't shown it much. It does a lot of work in the back end. This is how the starter works. Literally, we're gonna have to use this. Most likely. It's a pretty clean old truck, 454, 4-speed, geared down. It's got a PTO for the bed. Pretty handy. We move stuff around with this. Oh, let's see if we can get it fired up. Nope. 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 Yes. No hammer. Oh, wait. Yeah, brakes are off. Uh-oh. I'm rusty. It's got wee-woos and everything down there. It's a legit old school wrecker. I don't want to hit any of this customer stuff I can't afford, like a Nissan or the Brostang street shutter downer. That's probably getting straight piped straight into a pole. Chaotic. A couple fellers showed up, pick up the trucks. I don't know. I hope I charged the right amount. I just hit buttons on the cash machine and ran the car. I don't know what's happening, but I'm trying. Let's get out of here, I guess. That's confusing. It's halfway temp. Now it shows it's charging a scoosh. When I rev it, about 15 pounds of oil pressure, which is great for a straight 16. The fuel gauge isn't working, which is typical, or out of gas. All the clutch is dialed. Okay. It's got like a wooden ship handle on it. Shift thing, and I'm like, I can't see. My fused back is not allowing me to see what is happening. Coming back! Look out! You guys are missing the Cat Farm Crew Cab original bed as a scrap bed back here. Kind of a gem. True storytelling time. Derek, here's the truth. Could it use plugs, wires, cap, rotor button, oil change? Probably. Should we go through the rear end, drain, refill the oil? Probably. Same with the transmission? Yeah. Should we grease stuff? Yep. Should we look at the brake master cylinder, maybe check the brakes? Of course. But here's the thing, it runs. It backed out at half a mile an hour and barely stopped before hitting the cargo container back there in a customer car, which is currently backfiring and shooting flames out of the manifold. Might need an O2 sensor. Not a mechanic. Anyway, I think we nurse this thing as far as we can. Let's just go down the road. If we can make it all the way back, we'll address everything at once. If we break down along the way, we'll figure it out. Here's where I'm at. We just got to make up ground. Where's the sun? Where are you at? It's overcast. I think we got about an hour and a half of daylight left. Let's get some travel down, some wind beneath the sheets, as Kansas would say. I don't think that's right. Is that a Camaro seat? Anyway, there's buckets over here. Let's just travel, see what happens, take it as it comes. Okay. Well, kind of a different approach this time, but instead of spending the night trying to doll this thing up, I think it runs, it ain't broke, why fix it? Oh, just backfired and the hood bounced, but anywho's, let's just scoot this along. Let's see how far we can get. If we make it all the way, great. If we got to stop and fix it along the way, sure. And when we get back to Vice Grip Garage, we're going to doll this thing up. But either end or, we're going to spend the same amount of time, essentially, whether it's in the front end or along the way or the back end. And I'm looking forward to just getting closer to home. So let's jam this thing on the highway. I got a back route planned. We see a hotel 3.5 along the way. Maybe we swing in. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Well, so far, pretty good. Clutch is a little soft. In between gears, you gotta kind of let it settle. You can't just dump it and let it go. You gotta let it sit. So, springs are pretty worn on the clutch. Really sloppy steering, which is pretty typical of a 50s car. Brakes are super soft. So really, everything's fine. We're at the ultimate risk right now of just jumping in and going. But that's also what makes it a lot of fun for myself. Oh, we need to stop here. I should have downshifted. Full brakes. Nice slow. There we go. Got it towards spinner click. The main road's the interstate here. We're gonna jump over that and take some back roads and just kind of tootle. We'll figure our way home. Got oil pressure. So far it's staying relatively cool. Seems to be charging. Everything's good. Note to self, day one, 50s Chevrolet. By the way, its nickname is Fiona. That's what Brian said. It was the chick from it's the green chick from the cartoon. Come on, help me out. Bleep bloop in the comments. The green ogre lady, super nice, didn't look the greatest, and then became a princess. That's what this car is, I guess. It's currently full Fiona state. We're gonna have to bring it back around. I'm enjoying cruising this thing so far. It's actually really not bad. The seats and the green alligator skin and the headliner really bringing it around. Although the dust mites are thick and they're just blowing in my teeth. It's not good. Also, the front suspension. I think the coil springs are heated up and it's bouncing off the bump stops. It's fairly violent, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless. Well, the guys pulled into, I don't think there's a name, Shell station. I know I've been here probably 15 times, different projects. But anywho's, I pulled in because I realized I forgot to even check the fuel. I did check the Earl, and it was a quart over full, which is perfect. But the gas gauge is absolutely pegged out and empty. Got to figure that out. Also, I want to let out the clutch just a hair. Oh, I can't get out the store. I dumped her in second, coming off the exit, and she just slips. So we've got a pretty weak clutch in the thing, especially with 90 horsepower. It should be grabbing, but we're gonna have to nurse the clutch. But it doesn't seem to be getting hot so far, which would be the biggest concern. And pretty decent little ride, other than the typical, you know, you're working it. It's a 50s car, but that's part of the fun. So let me fill up. I'm gonna back the nut off on the clutch adjustment rod, and then we're gonna hit the road again. She was empty. Well, just trying to get off the highway here. The gauge says temperature's fine, but oh wow, the clutch does not sound good either. Anyway, big huge pop, bang. I can taste, literally taste the coolant. So something popped or blew up, I'm not really sure. So it's overheating right now, even though the gauge says it's not, which is not lit. So I have to use my phone every 32 seconds. But the good news is we're pulling into the most, what is it, Motel 7? Or we got a 7? 6, 5, 3. We got a Motel 3 tonight. We're gonna try to figure out the overheating issue in the morning. Gonna park this thing, crawl up, get some sleep, deal with it later. Other than like the steering, popping out of gear, lack of brakes, discomfort, lack of power, overheating. Other than that, it's been a really good trip. Oh, you can hear it now, the radiator, it's whistling. It's super hot. I gotta shut this thing off. Great. That seems fine. You know. Ooh, Waffle House. That's good news. Well, it's super late at night. Car's obviously boiled over. Heard a big pop. I'm not sure what that was. We're gonna figure it out in the morning after, I don't know, 3-4 hours of sleep. See if we can get back to the shop. See you tomorrow. Well, good morning. 79 or 36 o'clock. Boy, the sun is sunning today. Hey, so I was thinking about it all last night, or technically early this morning. I don't think there's an issue with the car. I put down a lot of miles yesterday to just all of a sudden overheat. It's my fault. Got impatient. It was really late. Guy was just getting all sorts of woozy, and just wanted to get here. I ran at too high RPM for too long, and then jumped right off the highway, tootling around with no wind blowing through the thing, you know. So we're gonna see what kind of damage we cause. I'm hoping the pop is just a pressure release on the cap and not a hose. Here's the other thing, was in such a hurry to leave yesterday to hopefully make it all the way that I forgot to throw my toolbox in. So all I have is a leather person. So this could get a little interesting this morning. Let's see what we got. The car is still here, in fact. Great. Boy, must have had some rough roads. About lost the battery. I'm not seeing any obvious splits in the hoses. I did loosen this already. It is absolutely empty. Also, that is pretty well full of rust. This has popped out of the can. Thought maybe we lost a belt because of that goofy pulley, so the water pump wasn't turning. That's also not the case. Some great news here though. Look how clean the fuel is. So that tank must be in great shape, or maybe it's been replaced. Oh, the filter's separated. So we actually need a new filter. So we're gonna check the oil on this. Make sure I didn't put any water in there. Nope, we did use a quart though. I checked that, it was plumb full before we left. Okay, so we need some oil, we need some coolant. I believe there's a truck stop right around here. We could probably grab something to get back. We are very, very close to the shop. Well, I say that, I don't know, 50 miles maybe? We'll see. See if it fires up. All right, Fiona. Oh, wow. Steering has gotten excessively worse. Let's see what this thing says today. Let's get it out of gear first. It immediately Tried to fire. There we go. Well, we gotta put some exhaust on this thing. What a loyal little car. These straight sixes are just hard to kill. They are. Okay, let's go to the gas station quickly because we don't got any fluid in this thing. Well, we made it across the street. Rather than throw a $9 quart of gas station oil on this, I think the guy's gonna practice my patience. Just scoot nice and easy, and we're gonna change it anyway, do a tune-up on this thing. Haven't fully decided if it needs a clutch yet, or if I'm just maybe being a little rambunctious with her. But it's a little chattery, sometimes slippy. Could also adjust that a little bit more, maybe. Not really sure. Gonna top this off, definitely get some coolant quick, and then we're back on the road. Well, now that I got some juice in here, I know what that is. That looks familiar. It wasn't rust. That is like head gasket in a bottle floating around in there. And with the aluminum radiator, maybe this thing does get hot. I don't know, but we're certainly gonna find out today. It is hotter than the back of Satan's kneecap out, so if it's gonna heat up, it's gonna happen right away today. We're gonna swing through an O'Reilly, pick up some tune-up parts, and then head to the shop. It's just gonna save me a trip back into town. And then we gotta start throwing wrenches on this, see how much we can doll this thing up in a day or two. And I think the visor was already on the car. There's no way it wasn't. I think that was taken off to tow it here. So I didn't come off or something like that. And then the goodies in the trunk, I think my buddy Brian threw those in for me, but we'll see. Maybe we'll use those. Maybe we'll do something else with the wheels. Not really sure yet. According to the JIP system on my pocket computer device, we're singing about 55 miles an hour. I need to get off this highway back on the back roads, and then we'll wind our way into a little town where that O'Reilly is, and then we'll take a backwoods way to Vice Grip Garage. I know a couple of them to keep us off the main highway. I think that pop I heard last night was that can, overflow can getting pressurized. I finally got the tube pushed back in it, and it is a tight seal. So once it got hot enough to push pressure and fluid into that, I think that's that pop was that hose coming out. So I think we're good. Don't trust this temp gauge at all. We'll see. Well, I was smelling antifreeze again, and I have found the overheating issue, and it is really not good. That, my friends, is a cracked block. And you can see all of the fix a leak and stuff like that working its way out. But unfortunately, the 216 is dead. Well, I'm just going to try to limp this thing back to the shop. There's no point in stopping to get parts. You know, sometimes they can be stitch welded and stuff like that, but quite honestly, I would have more money in that than just finding another 216 or 235. So, engine's already pretty much bad. We're just going to try to push this thing back to the shop. And I guess we'll work on the looks department while I shop around and figure out what to do for an engine. Maybe you guys can help me there. Bleep bloop in the comments. Throw another straight 6 in it, or should we V8 swap it and go down that rabbit hole? I don't know. I'm just going to focus on getting back right now. We'll see you at the shop here in a bit, hopefully. I can hear it hissing pretty good, but we're going to continue to push it. I might stop up here and dump a little bit more coolant in. See if we can make it. Again, I've got no tools or nothing. It keeps popping out of gear. There we go. Oil pressure is fading as well. At least I got my walking boots on. Well, the guy has successfully made it back to the barn. Car wasn't very happy. She was hot, but being the block was cracked, we're not really hurting anything. You know, I think we should still get this up in the air, take a peek at it, and make a list of basically anything mechanical we need to address, whether it's replace, repair, maybe upgrade, something like that. Throw it all on the whiteboard so we can forget about it. And then while we're forgetting, we can make this thing slicker than goose poop on a well pump handle. Real slick. Great news already. I called my buddy Brian, the guy I got this from, and I'm not upset at all or anything. It's a 70-year-old car, right? I wanted to see if I did something or if it just happened. And he said, no, he was actually aware of that. He thought it was repaired, though. Hasn't been an issue for him for a long time. And I think that was the bars leak or block fix 5000 floating in the rad. Just one of those things. But he said, hey, good news. I already located a 235 and a transmission for $300. So I bought that. Asked if he can go scoop it up for me. So we've got an engine. It doesn't need to go in there. Maybe we'll do a V8. I don't know. You guys bleep bloop it. But let me show you where that could potentially get complicated. We get this up in the air. Man, this thing's got some really nice color. Some blacks, browns, rust, sunburned. So a lot of you are probably jumping up and down right now saying V8 swap, V8 swap, and that's fine. You know, that can be done, but let me show you where it gets complicated here. So throwing in another straight six, pretty straightforward. Probably do the clutch at the same time, probably go through the engine, drop it in. Now, when you go to like a 350, where that gets a little complicated is we're dealing with a torque tube. So it's not your typical drive shaft. There's a splined shaft inside of this tube that goes right into the transmission, and there's a torque ball right here that's excessively leaking. And basically pivots in here. There's a U-joint. So if we want to go with the 350, then you got to change the transmission, then you got to put a different drive shaft in, and if you do that, then you got to put in a different rear end out of like a Camaro or something like that. Can and has been done 100 times. Something else to think about here. We also currently have a small block swapped 50/50, and we have a straight 12 volt now converted 50 as well. So do we need to hack this one up and do another V8 swap? I don't know. You guys let me know. It's not hard work, it's just a lot of piddling around. But I see why we had some clean fuel, and there's some other cool things under here. This explains why it's so loud. They just, that's fully approved. Looks like it's had a newer brake master at some point. It's got a new fuel line, and someone put a tank in it. Probably my buddy, I would imagine. These lowering blocks, big old beefy lowering blocks and some hardware and stuff. So that's been done up. Original shocks. It's got the old curly cues on it. So we probably need some shocks. Fuel system looks pretty good. We just got to cut some stuff up here, trim it, get some sort of exhaust system. The fumes, you know, if the floor had a hole in it somewhere, you know, the fumes would come right up into the cab. So we got to address that as well. So we'll put that on the list. Engine, exhaust, suspension work. We'll probably put some, where are the coil springs? They're pretty much non-existent. It's on the bump stops. Okay, well, I don't think we need to do anything up there. We'll just pin that up. So rear suspension. Kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. Obviously, some of this is going to change depending on the engine, but engine swap, exhaust, rear suspension. I need some sort of gauges in here, and then we would do a clutch, throwout bearing, all of that stuff as well. So we'll leave this up here so long that it just sticks into the board and we can't erase it. And then maybe we'll remember to remember it. Well, guys, we're going to continue to make arrangements to get that 235 figured out. And even if we don't use it on this rig, boy, it sure does not hurt to have them laying around. Now we can turn our attention, we'll come back to the mechanical in the future, but Let's doll this thing up and let's do it quick, cheaply, and just something that's not over the top. I don't think the car needs a lot. There's so much stainless and chrome and bling and the split windshield and the interior is wild and it's got a lot of good color. So I'm thinking we're just gonna sand on this a little bit. Let's just clear coat this, deep, high gloss. Bury this thing in gloss. Change the wheels, put some bling on the steel wheels, I should say, and change the tires out. Get that visor back on it. We're probably gonna have the looks department pretty well covered. We gotta start with the paint though, that's the biggest process. There's so much to tape on this, but it's also got sunburn from sitting outside for a cajillion years. I'm gonna find some 600 or 800 sandpaper, try to get that off, and then we gotta wash it, water, dish soap, stuff like that. It's gotta dry, and then we gotta start taping. So we've gotta be delicately aggressive. We got some paint or primer there we gotta get off. There's some staining here. I don't wanna take the color off. I just wanna get all the loose, flaky stuff that paint normally wouldn't adhere to. And we gotta have a clean surface. And if you're yelling, well, just paint the whole car, it's so straight. It's not. All of this is caved in. This is caved in, that's messed up. We've got foam along the whole bottom. The door is wrinkled here, the fender is wrinkled. This isn't just a 1 or 2 day scratch and shoot. We've got rust back here. And it's taken a very long time to look like this. So let's keep it. It's already kind of got like a sheen on it, chalky sheen. We're gonna try to keep that. We just gotta clean it up. I don't wanna go through this and get to bare metal, but we'll see what we can come up with. Trying to start with some 800, and unfortunately it's not getting through this flaky burned paint. So it's working good back here, but we're gonna need a little bit more in those areas, and we're just spot sanding. 99% of this, I'm just gonna use a gray Scotch-Brite and just scuff it up a little bit. But in those areas like that, we gotta get that off. Well, the guy put the work to her. We don't got to get carried away here. There's, you know, with all the dents and dings and scrapes and everything else, this is going to be good enough. Just kind of got the high spots, you know, the tops, if you will. I'm going to roll this out and wash it. And my goodness, do you not need to see that again? I don't know what the count is now, but over the years, well, we're coming up on a decade probably. You guys have seen me wash 11 gajillion, 9 billion vehicles. I'm using a gray Scotch-Brite, some hand soap in there from the sink, some warm water. I'm gonna rubber down, roll this down the hill, hit it with the well water, leave it in the sun, and just let it naturally dry. We don't want any water hiding behind any of these strips and stuff like that if we get the spraying in here. It'll just smear everywhere, obviously. You guys have seen me do the shine juice a million times. You've watched me wipe on clear coat. You've watched me spray the spray on clear coat. This time we're going to use the 1776 gloss, which is a premium 2K, very high gloss spray on only application. And that'll bury all this nice patina in some gloss. And nice thing is down the road, if we decide to paint this and do body work, it's as easy as just sanding it off like we're doing right now. So let me go wash this, dry it, bring it back in. Probably be this evening, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. See you then. Well, you are not going to believe this, but the guy got busy and had to leave town to get another rig. Yeah, weird. Anyway, I'm back trying to remember what we were doing and why. Oh yeah, it's dry. Mission accomplished. It's clean. Now the job of taping, which really is not fun. It's monotonous, it's tedious. That's quite a bit of work actually, especially in 50s and 60s cars. There's a lot of stainless, trim, chrome, stuff like that. But peeling the tape off is one of the most satisfying things ever. Also, whilst hooked to the AOL in the sky on the, whatever they're called, air tubes, I was able to find some of the missing emblems, broken emblems, things like that that were on this car or should go to this car. So once we get this done, we should be able to kind of-ish fully assemble this thing. And boy, it should look slick. And I made some phone calls. My buddy Brian I got this car from, I think has found an engine for it, already hooked to another transmission, which would be a spare. So we'll get her dolled up and then we can revisit the mechanicals on it. Not always the way we do it around here, but we gotta keep our feet moving. You know what I mean? Okay, tape, yes, yes, very, very excited. Well, I think a guy has got her all taped off, at least as far as we're gonna go with this thing. Using that plastic again on the winders, boy, is that a time saver. And then I'm not blowing around all the dust and stuff from newspaper and things like that. If you gotta use that, go ahead, just blow it off with your gun before you start spraying. I do have to wipe this down with some wax and grease remover or some sort of equivalent. You can even use some sort of glass cleaner if it's got alcohol in it. You just want to get, well, I can see like right here, for example, that's my sweaty arm when I was leaning in, putting on the tape and stuff like that. You want to get all of that foreign stuff off before you spray. So material over here, this is what I'm going to use, the Vice Grip Garage Wax Grease Remover. Again, use what you want. I put it in this little pump bottle. Finally got one that's actually made for degreasers and chemicals, so the O-ring lasts. And then we're going to go with the 1776 Spray On Clear, and it's got its own catalyst. But we're changing it up a little bit. You know me, I like to use everything I can and save everything I can. So this right here is the blue candy clear from the OBS truck when I sprayed the Motion Raceworks pickup, and I had a little bit left. So can a guy, first coat, hit this with some blue candy? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know either. I don't know what it's gonna do, but we're just gonna go one light coat, and then we'll come back over with just straight 1776. Basically, this is laced with that candy. This is just straight 1776. This is sanding discs, sticky sanding discs. I like to put these on the top, like lid tops. Keeps the bugs and dust and junk out of it. I'm gonna go wipe this off fast, and then we're dumping it right into the gun. We're gonna get to spraying, and here in about 20 minutes, bam, this will be shining. Well, the guy finished spraying last night and wanted it to dry a little bit. Getting started about, 6:30, 7 o'clock this morning. Plenty dry to pull the tape, and oh my goodness, does this thing look incredible. Took a gamble with that blue pearl, but man, was it worth it. I'm gonna have to start playing around with that stuff a little bit more, different colors of pearl. You have to look at it in the right light, and it's different than in person, I assure you. If you look at it just correctly, there's a beautiful blue tint to it. And the way that it's different with the black primer from the GM front versus the body by Fisher brown oxide and the actual straight metal is just really unique. I don't use the word gushing often, but this thing is gushing with personality now. Looks amazing. Let's get all the tape off, do some final assembly with emblems, some stuff that I found, trinkets. We got to get the skirts on. Oh, before that, we got to do something with tires. I do like the Flex Seal white walls. It's a factory option. But we're going to try to upgrade that as well. Basically, so everything is done looks-wise, and then we can focus on mechanical down the road. Let's get after it. It's going to be a good day. Now listen, I know some of you fellers and fellettes out there don't like this whole patina thing, and I understand. I get that. You want your stuff looking nice and shiny. But this vehicle is not a candidate for a quick spray job. Now, if it's a big body car with a bunch of flat surfaces, that's different. That's easy. We can knock that out in a few days, quite honestly. This is the opposite of that. Not only that, but this needs a ton of work. Doors, quarter panels, rockers, floors, trunk floor, you name it. And if we're going that far, then this thing's gonna be blown apart in 1,000 pieces while we search for good stainless, good bumpers. Why paint it if all that is junk? It's a kiss of death. This way, clearing this car, it looks cool, it's functional, we can use the thing as soon as possible. Well, the guy's got the emblems and badges on that I have are the ones that aren't broken or showed up broken. I'm still looking for some deluxes for the side that have the tangs. I found one on the line, showed up, and only had one of the 3 tangs. We'll revisit that some other day. Same with the mirrors. I think I have some sport mirrors that might work, but I've got to drill the doors or find some different hardware and mess with that later. I'm gonna jack this up now and let's get some fresh rubber on this instead of these things. I'm gonna try to lift one side of the car at a time because I gotta work the back tire out anyway with the way that this quarter panel's set up. We'll get those on, then we can get the skirts on. We don't run skirts a lot, but I think I might on this rig. We'll go from there. So let's see if we can knock these off. There's just something that feels good about starting the day off with some sketchy jack work. So I'm thinking we can snag both at once. Maybe, my goodness. Wow, gonna tip the building over. There it goes. Yeah, that's pretty sketchy. I like it. I like it a lot. How's the bearings? We never checked. Butter. Just butter. When I moved it over here, I completely lost the brake pedal. So we're gonna have to add brakes on to the list. And this has a master under the floor. Great, grand. Tread looks decent on these, they're just weather checked. Uh-oh. What was that? Ghost? Huh. Who knows? You know, a guy can get some really nice white walls today. That is if you want to spend $300–400 a piece. They're insane. I still want to go with white walls, not as prominent. So I did the right thing, and well, I got these things. Yep. Bam! These are Contaio White Paw. White Paws. Sure, this is about the size white wall. I'm thinking for the rig, but hey, they're fresh, they're round. That's all that matters. This is what we're gonna use because it was the cheapest option. This wheel is really bent, but I'm gonna try to get it close-ish. Got it. I might save this one for the front just in case I can't get the back one trued up. Some warm water and a gray Scotch-Brite will snag that protective coating right off of there. These are pretty well dry. Go ahead and toss the captain's side on. Yeah, that looks pretty good. The old Finland white walls. Anyway, we had some trim rings in the trunk. I got some generic center caps, and I think that's how this is gonna live. If I can get these on. Gotta use your teeth. Hold your mouth just right. There we go. Eventually, I think I want to get some of the Chevrolet center caps with, don't mind that missing lug nut, with the blue on them. Yeah, I don't know. Not a huge fan, but it's better than nothing. Let me get the other three buttoned up, and then we'll roll this thing outside, get a good look at it. Out in the sun, it is looking sharp. Well, the guys got her out in the sunlight, and the blue pearl clear, the 1776, looks incredible. It just added a nice little touch here and there. I don't know if I'm sold on the skirts or the center caps. Looking forward to your feedback down in the comments as well. I also didn't put the visor back on it. It's missing a bracket, and I didn't have the hardware, and I'm afraid it's just going to get ripped off or cause some damage. But take a look at this rig and tell me what you think. I think it's a cute little car and a great base to work from. Kind of funny how this one worked. I thought we finally just got a turnkey project, jump in and go and make it better. Not have to do a bunch of mechanical stuff, but I think unfortunately that's where we're gonna spend a lot of our time, and that's okay. That's part of having a project car. It needs a clutch, it needs brakes, it needs engine, but the interior is cool. It's done. The exterior, it is slicker than goose poop on a pump handle. Done. I like it. It will be back. You will see it in the future. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you so very much. We'll see you very soon. I almost said I was going to go for a cruise, but I guess I'll just park it. I keep forgetting the block is cracked. Shoot, dang. Parked.